You know how people say communication is key? Yeah. Ours was the kind of key you lose in the couch for a year and then blame the couch. Tuesday night. 2 bowls of pasta. 1 cheap bottle of wine pretending to be expensive because the label had a castle on it. TV off. Phones face down. That last part was her rule. No phones at dinner? Which was funny considering what she pulled out later. I tried small talk like it was CPR. How was your day? Fine, she said, which is married code for don't ask. I asked anyway. Anything interesting? She stabbed a meatball. No. Cool. That went well. I told her the grocery store by Maple had a sale on sauce. 2 for 1. I was proud like I'd negotiated peace in the Middle East. Discount sauce, she said, staring at her fork. That's what excites you now. Hey, I said, I'm a simple guy. Pasta that costs less tastes better. It's science. She did the sigh. Not a normal sigh. The kind that starts in the soul and ends in a Yelp review. That's exactly it, James. You're always excited about less ouch, I said. Want me to return it? I can take the sauce back and tell them my wife prefers her tomatoes rich. Don't joke, she said, not looking up. You always joke when it's serious. Because when it's serious, you always have notes. I nodded at the phone by her plate. She flinched like I'd seen behind the curtain. Then she moved the phone closer to her elbow. We ate in silence for a minute. I tried again. Your mom called? No. Your sister? No. Okay. Any humans reach out today, or should I expand to dogs with Instagram? James. 1 word. Warning flare. Got it, I said. Retreating. I took a sip of the castle wine and stared at the wall clock. The kind of ticking that makes you suddenly aware of your own heartbeat, the fridge humming, and the fact your marriage sounds like an empty house. She set her fork down. Not dramatic. No clatter. Just done. Her shoulders dipped like something heavy slid off them and landed on me. You know, she said, voice thin, sometimes I think I should have listened to them. I kept my face calm. Inside, a tiny firefighter pulled the alarm. Them who? My friends. She swallowed. Her eyes were glassy but not angry. They warned me. 7 times, actually. 7, I said. Like dwarves, but with opinions. She almost smiled. Almost. It died fast. She picked up her phone, unlocked it, scrolled. I watched her thumb move like it had a map, and I was the destination she didn't want. 7 pieces of advice I ignored before I married you, she said. Soft, careful, like the words might cut her mouth on the way out. I put my fork down. Okay, I said. Let's hear your friend's greatest hits. Don't, she said. Please don't make this a bit. I'm not. I'm listening. She inhaled, blinked away tears, and read, Number 1, never marry your first serious boyfriend. I nodded once. Classic. I mean it, she said. They told me I needed more experience, more perspective, to know what else is out there, so I wouldn't settle. Right, I said, because nothing says stable marriage like a scavenger hunt. She looked wounded, not mad. That made it worse. James, I'm trying to be honest. Me too, I said. I get it. Next, she scrolled. Number 2, don't build your life with someone who's still building his. Start with someone who's already arrived. That one landed like a sack of bricks, neat and heavy. She didn't have to explain. I knew the translation. You're good, just not good enough yet. Define arrived, I said. A car with leather? A house with an island? A dog that doesn't shed? A sense of security, she said. Not counting every purchase. Not choosing everything on the menu by price. So, I said, richer. Secure, she repeated. The word sat there, judging me. Got it. I looked at my plate. The sauce suddenly tasted like a speech I didn't want. What's number 3? She rubbed her thumb across the screen like she was polishing a bullet. Number 3, always keep your independence, your own place, your own savings, your own life. I blinked. You moved into my apartment after week 2. I know, she said, eyes shining now. I should have kept mine. I should have kept a door I could walk through if I needed to. You mean an exit? She flinched. I mean an option. Right, I said. Same dictionary, different font? She set the phone down and pressed her fingers to her eyelids. The tears threatened, then won. It wasn't ugly crying. It was worse, the quiet kind you don't know how to fix. I reached for a napkin, then stopped. Comforting her felt weird when I was the emergency. I don't hate you, she whispered, staring at the table. I don't. I feel stuck, like gum, I said, because sarcasm is my life jacket. Or like an app you can't delete because it came with the phone. James, she shook her head. I feel like I settled. I feel like I'm disappearing into ordinary, and my friends kept telling me I would regret it. Your friends, I repeated. The committee, she winced. Don't call them that. What should I call them? The board? The advisory council? The we're single but experts panel? Stop, she said. Please. This is hard enough I shut up. Fine. I could do silent. The clock ticked louder just to mock me. She picked up the phone again like it steadied her hand. Number 4, she said, voice steadier. Don't take on traditional roles unless he takes on traditional responsibilities. Don't act like a wife if he's not acting like a provider. So love is hourly now? I asked. Do I clock in or do we do project-based billing? She stared. See? You always turn it into a joke so you don't have to feel it. I breathed in, then out, slow. I feel it. Her face softened, then hardened again when she glanced at the screen. The phone kept pulling her back like a magnet. Number 5, she read. Live before you commit. Travel, date, make mistakes, or you'll resent the person who kept you from it. So I kept you from Paris, I said. And Chad? She blinked. Who's Chad? Every guy named Chad, I said. They're born in a gym. It's science. James, she said, eyes wet again. I'm serious. I know, I said. Keep going. She swallowed, scrolled, and hit me with the money line. Number 6, the man should pay for everything that matters. If he can't cover the basics, he's not ready. Ah, I said. So security comes with receipts. Good to know. It's not just money, she said, and even she didn't sound convinced. Of course not, I said. It's also tomato sauce. That one almost cracked her mouth into a smile. Almost. She fought it and won. She took a breath, bracing herself. I knew what was coming. The exit sign. Number 7. Always have a backup plan. There it was. The thesis statement. I leaned back. A backup plan, I said. Like a spare tire. Or a spare man. She closed her eyes. A spare life. The room got small, like the air moved out and left us with furniture. I stared at our wedding photo on the shelf, us laughing at something the photographer said. Felt like strangers who used to shop where they kept hope. Okay, I said finally. You read the list. You cried. I didn't crack a joke for a whole 30 seconds. Now what? She looked lost. Not dramatic, just genuinely lost. I don't know, she said. I needed you to hear it. To hear me, I heard you, I said. Loud and clear. 7 caution signs, all posted after the accident. That's not fair. Maybe, I said, but it's accurate. She wiped her face with a napkin, hands shaking just enough to tell the truth. I don't want to fight. Good, I said. Me neither. Silence again. I pointed at the phone. So here's my question. You've got 7 points. What's number 8? She frowned. There is no 8. There has to be, I said, because lists are great for speeches, but they don't do dishes. Number 8 is the part where you answer the only thing that matters. What? She asked, barely above a whisper. What do you want to do about it? I said, calm, steady, no sarcasm left to hide behind. Because you didn't read me advice. You read me a verdict. So, what's the sentence? Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. No sound. For 30 seconds, the only thing moving in the room was the clock hand and something behind her eyes. I don't know, she said finally. I just know I can't keep pretending I'm happy. I nodded. It hurt less than I expected and more than I could show. Okay, she said, confused, like I'd missed my line and skipped to the end. Yeah, I said. I stood, gathered plates, ran water in the sink. Normal motions felt like armor. You're honest. I can work with honest. She watched me like I was dismantling a bomb without instructions. What does that mean, James? It means number 8, I said, shutting off the water and drying my hands. I met her eyes. Tomorrow I'll make it simple. Simple how? You said you wanted independence, I said. I'll give it to you. Real independence, not the Instagram kind. We'll separate finances, accounts, cards. We'll split bills by income. You'll have your door. Her face went pale. That's not, James, that's not what I meant. It's what you said, I replied. Not cold, just finished. You wanted options. I'll build them. You won't feel stuck. You'll feel free. She shook her head like she could rattle the idea out of it. Please don't do this tonight. I'm not doing anything tonight, I said, pulling out a chair again and sitting. Tonight, I'm finishing dinner with my wife. The word wife landed between us like a memory that didn't know if it was allowed to stay. We ate the rest quietly. She took tiny bites like each one was a decision. I cleaned my plate like a man who knew exactly what he'd do in the morning. When we were done, she stood, phone in her hand, then stopped. James? Yeah? I don't hate you, she said. I hate how I feel. I know, I said. I meant it. She nodded as if that was permission to breathe and walked to the bedroom. The door didn't slam, it clicked. Somehow that was worse. I stayed at the table and listened to the house making house sounds, pipes, fridge, clock. The normal symphony of a life that looked fine and wasn't. On the shelf, our wedding photo kept smiling like it hadn't read the list. I looked at it and said, number 8, under my breath. We do something about it. Then I turned off the lights because there was nothing else to see. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, listening to her quiet breathing, and wondering if she was dreaming about freedom or guilt. By morning, I had a plan. But before that, before the spreadsheets, the statements, the folder, there was one more round of therapy by list. Because apparently, 7 pieces of advice weren't enough without a sequel. When I walked into the kitchen, she was already up. Coffee cup, messy hair, her phone open like it was hosting group therapy. Morning, I said, or whatever time zone you're emotionally in. She gave me a look. You think this is funny? I think it's Wednesday and I'm out of creamer. So, yeah, little funny. She sighed. James, can we not do this? Sure, I said. Let's read from the Gospel of Best Friends again. Her jaw tightened. You're impossible. Yep, I said, but at least I'm consistent. She rolled her eyes, and for a second I saw a ghost of her old self, the one who used to laugh at how stupid we both were at adulting. Then it disappeared. Look, she said, I didn't mean to hurt you last night. I think that ship's docked, I said. But go on. I just needed to say those things. I've been feeling like my life shrank, like I'm watching other people move forward while I'm still married, I finished for her. She stared at her coffee. I didn't mean it that way. I shrugged. I mean, technically you did. You had bullet points that earned me a weak laugh, which I took as a victory. She wiped her eye and said, You really can't take anything seriously, can you? I take you seriously, I said. I just refuse to make misery our new hobby. She studied me, like she wasn't sure if that was supposed to be sweet or infuriating. Then she said quietly, I didn't mean I want to leave you. Sure sounded like it. I meant I don't want to feel like I made a mistake. Well, I said, if it helps, mistakes don't usually come with mortgage payments. She actually snorted. A real laugh, small but honest. And for one brief second, we were us again. Then her phone buzzed. The spell broke. She glanced at it. Group chat lighting up. Brunch tomorrow? Probably the same crew that gave her the 7 commandments of divorce light. She locked the screen fast, but not before I saw the name at the top. Sophie, the high priestess of You Deserve Better. Brunch with the coven? I asked. Don't, she said. Please. Fine, I said. Just wondering if they're offering a loyalty card. 7 advices, get the 8th free. She stood up, rubbing her temples. I can't do this right now. That's fair, I said, because right now I'm printing something. She froze. Printing what? You'll see. While she showered, I sat in my home office, typing like an accountant possessed. Bank tabs open, account balances lined up, color-coded like a tax return for the apocalypse. At the top of the document, I typed, Independence Plan. I wasn't angry. Anger's loud. I was quiet, and quiet men do paperwork. By noon, I had every shared expense split, every automatic payment redirected. It wasn't revenge, it was compliance. She wanted independence. I wanted accuracy. When she came into the room, still in her robe, she froze at the sight of the printer spitting out page after page. What are you doing? She asked. Delivering number 8, I said. Number 8? The part after your list. The action plan. She frowned. James, what is this? I handed her the folder. Independence Plan. Draft 1. You said you felt stuck, so I'm unsticking you. She opened it, skimmed a page, and blinked. You split our bank accounts? Yep, half to you, half to me. You canceled the joint credit card? Uh-huh. You changed the password on Netflix? I'm not a monster, I said. That one stays. Her eyes snapped up. This isn't funny. I agree, I said, but it's functional. James, she said, voice trembling, I didn't ask for a divorce. I didn't file one, I said. I just gave you everything you said you wanted. Freedom, independence, options, your own space. She looked at me like she didn't recognize the person talking. This isn't what I meant. It's exactly what you meant, I said. You wanted to breathe. I opened a window. She set the folder down like it was toxic. You're punishing me. I shook my head. No, punishment would be making you fill out the forms yourself. That one almost made her smile again. Almost. Instead, she whispered, You're cruel. No, I said. I'm just listening for once. She turned away, clutching the folder like it might bite her. I can't believe you're doing this. Me neither, I said. But hey, growth, right? She didn't respond, just walked out and shut the door. Not a slam, not even a click. Just silence thick enough to chew. That night, the house was weirdly peaceful. No TV, no music, just 2 people existing in different planets with shared plumbing. I poured myself a drink and stared at the folder on the counter. Part of me wanted to shred it, apologize, promise we'd talk it out. The other part, the part she called unambitious, wanted to see what happened when she got exactly what she asked for. I finished the drink and told myself one thing before bed. No speeches. No chasing. Let reality handle it. And reality, as it turns out, was a pretty good teacher. 3 days later, I heard her on the phone in the kitchen. The walls in our house are thin. Too thin for secrets. No, Sophie, it's fine. I just didn't expect him to actually do it. No, I don't think he's bluffing. Yes, I have the folder right here. I don't know what to do with it. A pause. No, I'm not crying. It's just weirdly quiet. Like living alone, but not really. Then silence. Then the sound of a wine bottle opening. I smiled to myself in the dark. because for the first time in weeks, the advice committee didn't have an answer. After that night, the house changed temperature. Not literally, the thermostat still worked, but emotionally, it felt like the air conditioning was always on. 2 people, same roof, different climates. Bills were split. Grocery lists became a Cold War. Her side of the fridge looked like an influencer starter pack. Oat milk, chia seeds, organic calmness. Mine looked like a man who'd given up on enlightenment, leftovers, beer, and dignity in Tupperware. She started labeling everything, her yogurt, her cereal, her air if she could. I joked once, "Want me to tag the oxygen molecules too?" No laugh. She didn't even look up. Every night felt like an awkward Airbnb stay. We exchanged polite sentences that sounded like customer service scripts. "Did you already use the washing machine?" "Yes." "Okay." It wasn't fighting anymore. It was neutralization. A few days later, she walked in with shopping bags full of scented candles and new pillows. Everything beige, everything soft. She said it was for a fresh start. I asked, "Fresh start from what? Me or gravity?" She ignored it, arranging the pillows like she was building emotional defenses. 10 minutes later, she opened her banking app, and I heard her whisper, "That can't be right." Apparently, independence comes with subscription fees. The silence started pressing on the walls. Then I heard her voice through the paper-thin wall, soft, uncertain, talking to Sophie, the chief architect of the 7 advices. "No, Sophie, it's fine. He really did it. Split everything. No, he's not mad. Just calm, like creepy calm." Pause. "Maybe he's teaching you something," Sophie said. "He's not my teacher." Maybe he was. That silence after the call, it said more than any argument we'd ever had. Another night, another muffled call, different voice this time. "Maya, could I stay with you for a few days?" "Just until I find a place." "Oh, your boyfriend's there." "No, it's fine. Totally fine." She ended the call and stayed in the dark kitchen for 20 minutes. Didn't move, didn't cry. Just stared at the empty chair across the table, the one where I used to sit. I nearly went in, hand on the doorknob, then I let go. Sometimes silence teaches what words can't. Her phone calls grew shorter after that. Her friends, the loud, confident chorus, started vanishing one by one. They had work, yoga, self-care. It's amazing how quickly friendship turns into voicemail when the plot stops flattering them. And then the breaking call. "Rachel, remember when you said to always have a backup plan? I think I need to use it." "What do you mean that's complicated? You told me, right?" "Yeah, you're right. I overreacted." The click of the phone ending felt like a nail being tapped into her pride. She stared at her reflection in the microwave door and whispered, "Great plan." I almost laughed. Not cruelly, just because irony has perfect timing. Later that night, she knocked on my office door. First knock in weeks. "James?" Still me. "Can we talk?" She hovered in the doorway, arms crossed like armor. "I can't do this anymore," she said. "You win." "Was this a competition?" I asked. "Apparently," and I lost her laugh cracked midway into a sob. "This isn't what I wanted." "I know," I said. "You wanted independence. Turns out it comes with utilities. I wanted to feel seen." "You could have just turned on the lights," I said. She shot me the really, look, the one I'd missed more than I cared to admit. "You're impossible. Reliable too," I said. "It's a package deal." Her lip twitched, the smallest smile, the first in weeks. "I miss us," she whispered. That one hurt. Not sharp pain, slow, deep, familiar. I didn't trust my voice, so I just nodded. "Can we fix it?" "I don't know," I said, and for once it didn't sound like a line. It sounded honest. She took a breath. Greater than, "At least you didn't say no." When she left, the air in the room felt lighter, not fixed, but possible. That night I stayed awake, listening to the house breathe. Her door clicked shut. My laptop screen dimmed. Between us stretched a silence that wasn't empty anymore. It was waiting. I realized then that forgiveness isn't about grand gestures or speeches. It's the quiet point where you stop needing to win and start hoping you both still can. 2 weeks after the independence plan, the house felt less like a home and more like a museum, where everything looked familiar, but no one was allowed to touch. We still moved around each other like polite ghosts. If someone had filmed us, they'd have thought we were actors in a low-budget documentary about emotional constipation. That Friday night, I cooked. Not because I wanted to impress her, mostly because I was tired of eating takeout that came with guilt sauce and disappointment fries. I made pasta again because apparently I enjoy irony. When she walked into the kitchen, she hesitated in the doorway like she was checking for landmines. "Smells good," she said quietly. "Thanks," I said. "It's not discounted this time." That earned the smallest smirk. Progress. Microscopic, but progress. I handed her a plate and we sat opposite each other. Same table, same chairs, but something different. It wasn't peace, but it wasn't war either. More like a ceasefire with snacks. She poked at her food and said, "You've been quiet lately." "I thought that was the goal," I said. "Less arguing, more inner peace." "Don't do that." "Do what?" "Turn everything into a joke." "I tried being serious," I said. "It got me an independence plan." She sighed, and for the first time in a long time she looked small, not angry, just tired. "I don't hate you, James." "I never did good," I said. "Hate would require passion." She half smiled. "You're such an idiot." "Yeah," I said, "but at least I'm your idiot." "Well, temporarily," she set down her fork. "Can we not do this?" "Do what?" "This weird back and forth where you pretend not to care and I pretend I'm fine." I looked at her for a long moment. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep, not mascara. Her voice trembled on the edges like a bridge about to collapse. "Okay," I said finally. "Then let's not pretend." She blinked. "What do you mean?" "I mean you talk. I listen. No jokes, no sarcasm. Just say what you want to say." She hesitated, then started, voice trembling but steadying with each word. "I thought I wanted freedom. But freedom feels like falling without a parachute. I thought I wanted independence, but I just wanted reassurance. I thought I was trapped, but the truth is I was scared. Scared I wasn't enough. Scared that being with you meant my life stopped growing." I nodded slowly. "And now?" She took a deep breath. "Now I realize I didn't outgrow us. I just stopped showing up for it. That hit harder than I expected. Because it was the first sentence that sounded like hers, not Sophie's, not Maya's, not the committee of borrowed wisdom. Just her. "You really rehearsed that?" I said gently. She laughed through a sniffle. "A little." "Not bad," I said. "Needs a stronger ending, though." She threw a napkin at me, and for 2 seconds, it felt like old times. Then the silence returned, softer this time, like it knew it didn't have to shout. She whispered, "Do you think it's too late?" I didn't answer right away. I looked at her. Really looked. The woman I'd loved. The one who used to dance in the kitchen wearing my shirt and laugh at my terrible jokes. The same woman who now looked like she'd been carrying guilt in her purse for weeks. "No," I said finally. "It's not too late. But it's not early either." She nodded, eyes wet again. "I miss being on your side." "I miss having a side," I said. "Lately it's been just survival mode." "I'm sorry," she said, voice cracking. "For everything. For listening to everyone but you." "I get it," I said. Their version sounded shinier. I thought they were helping. "They were lonely," I said, "and misery loves brunch." That made her laugh through tears. A quiet, broken laugh that somehow felt like healing. She stood and walked around the table. For a second, I thought she was leaving again. Instead, she stopped beside me, rested a hand on my shoulder and said, "You're still my best friend, you know that?" "Yeah," I said, "but that's kind of the problem." She didn't argue. She just stood there silent, like a person realizing how much damage can be done without ever raising your voice. Then she whispered, "Good night, James," and left the kitchen. That night I didn't sleep. Again. I sat on the couch with a glass of whiskey, the good kind, the one you save for emotional emergencies. I opened the photo album we never finished. Trips, birthdays, stupid selfies, all the blurry moments that made up a clear life. There she was, smiling, carefree, a version of her that didn't carry the weight of should've. And me, younger, dumber, thinking forever, was automatic. I stared at one photo longer than the rest. We were laughing over burnt pancakes. I'd made a heart shape that looked more like roadkill, and she'd called it abstract love. She looked so alive in that picture, and for the first time in weeks, I wanted that version of her back, not because she was easier, but because she was real. The truth hit quietly. She wasn't the only one who'd stopped showing up. I'd been coasting too, hiding behind sarcasm, behind my "it's fine" act. We both got lost in autopilot and forgot to land. I finished my drink, set it down, and said to the empty room, "Maybe I'm not done yet." The clock ticked, the fridge hummed, the house breathed again, like it was waiting for a truce neither of us had dared to sign. Morning arrived like it always does, rude, bright, and wearing yesterday's problems. I brewed coffee, the strong kind that tastes like an apology you're not ready to give. She appeared in the doorway in an oversized hoodie, sleeves over her hands, hair in a loose knot. I'd seen that look before. Not fight me, not fix me, just don't run. "Coffee?" I asked. She nodded. "Please." I poured. She watched the steam curl like a nervous habit. On the table sat a new folder. Fresh print, clean spine. She noticed. "What's that?" "An edit," I said. "To what?" "To yesterday. To the last 2 weeks. To number 8. I pushed it toward her. She opened it. First page, big letters, partnership plan. She glanced up, cautious. "This isn't a trap, right?" "If it is," I said, "I'm in it too." She breathed out and read. 1. Money. Transparent accounts, 2 cards for shared costs, separate savings for personal stuff. 2. Time. 2 evenings a week, just us, phones down, no advisory board. 3. Roles. No invoices for kindness. We both cook, clean, plan, fail, try again. 4. Emergencies. We fight the problem, not each other. 5. Friends. They don't vote here. Advice is welcome. Decisions are ours. 6. Growth. Quarterly check-in like adults with calendars and feelings. 7. Exit. Not a threat. A promise to speak up early, not when it's already burning. She read twice. Lips parted, then pressed together. Her thumb rested on the margin like it was testing the temperature of forgiveness. "This is real?" she asked. "As real as the bill for oat milk," I said. "What if I mess up?" she whispered. "You will," I said. "So will I. We'll mess up together." Her eyes glossed over. "I don't deserve this." "Probably not," I said. "Neither do I. That's why it's called grace, not math." A tear slipped before she could catch it. She wiped it away, then laughed at herself. "I was so sure I needed a plan B." "You never needed a plan B," I said. "You needed a plan us." She nodded, then did something I hadn't seen in weeks. She moved closer without fear. "Can I hug you?" she asked. "You're allowed," I said. "Terms and conditions apply." "What conditions?" "No committee," I said. "No speech afterward." She stepped in and wrapped her arms around me. It wasn't dramatic. It was warm, steady, normal. The kind of hug you build a life on. "I'm sorry," she said into my shoulder. "For the list, for the walls, for making you feel like you never arrived. I'm sorry," I said. "For hiding behind jokes. For acting untouchable when I was just tired." We stayed like that until the kettle clicked off and the house remembered to breathe. When we separated, her hands were still on my chest, like she was making sure I was there. "Sign it," I said, nodding at the folder. "Then I'll sign. Fresh start, no secret clauses." She signed, I signed, no witnesses, no stamps, just coffee rings and 2 shaky names. "Okay," she said, exhaling. "Okay." I slid the folder aside and put a plate on the table. Toast, eggs, sliced apple because I was trying to be impressive without trying too hard. She smirked. "Breakfast diplomacy." "Bribery," I corrected. We ate quietly. Halfway through, she said, "I asked Rachel for help yesterday." "I heard," I said. "She told me it was complicated." "Translation," I said. "She likes drama until it has chores." She laughed. "You're not wrong." "About Sophie," I added. "She's not evil. She just lives on a diet of opinions." "Hard habit to break. I'm unsubscribing," she said. "From all of it." "Good," I said. "We've got our own newsletter now." She stole a piece of my toast like it was a ritual. "I miss this." "Stealing bread?" I asked. "Us," she said. "The way we used to be when it was simple." "It won't be simple," I said. "But it can be honest." She nodded, serious again. "I can do honest." "Then do one more thing," I said. "Delete the list." She took out her phone, opened notes, found the 7 commandments of somebody else's life. She stared at them for a full 10 seconds. Then she hit delete. The screen went blank, and for the first time, she didn't look lost. "Done," she said. "Congratulations," I said. "You just fired the board." "Feels good," she said, surprised. "Weird, but good." "Welcome to small business ownership," I said. 2 partners, no investors. We cleared the table. I washed. She dried. No ceremony, no music, just the sound of dishes, 2 people moving in sync again. We turned off the kitchen light and walked down the hall. Same house, same walls, new air. I wasn't naive. We hadn't fixed everything. But the scoreboard was gone, and the door was closed, from the inside. And for the first time in a long time, the future didn't look like a test. 6 months later, nobody mentioned the list anymore. Weekends turned into little experiments in normal. We cooked together. She burned, I joked. We ate anyway. We learned that quiet wasn't always distance. Sometimes it was peace catching its breath. Sophie still texted her links to articles about empowerment. Emily stopped replying with eye rolls and started replying with pictures. Coffee mugs, messy hair, me flipping pancakes, proof of an ordinary happiness that didn't need approval. Eventually, the messages stopped coming. We started doing therapy, not because we were broken, but because maintenance is cheaper than repairs. We fought still, only now we knew the difference between winning and understanding. She said sorry more. I listened longer. We even made a rule. No one gets advice from anyone who isn't cleaning up their own mess first. And some nights, when we'd walk the dog and the air was cold enough to make her tuck her hand into my jacket pocket, she'd whisper, "We're doing okay, right?" And I'd say, "Better than okay." We're doing it without an audience. Because love, we finally learned, doesn't need witnesses, just participants. If you felt this story hit hard, drop a like, subscribe for more, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support keeps Steelheart beating.